What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Look Mum, I'm Hustling. I'm actually saying welcome back to the listeners and viewers, and also welcome back to you.
Thank you. Good to be here. I really appreciate
You're
it.
technically here every week, but
I am.
sometimes it's just nice offering
Yeah.
your hand out as a hello and a welcome.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me today.
We're in the middle of a heat wave right now.
I know. I was just saying before, like, it is so hot already. We do have a big light above us, and it can get hot a little bit later on throughout the episode, like halfway through, but it's already starting to feel like the dribble down my back of sweat. So we'll see how we go.
The dribbling has begun.
Yeah. If mid-episode and you're watching the video format and we're just like wiping our foreheads or whatever it is because it's bloody hot.
It's not too bad. I think tomorrow's supposed to be in the high 40s. So for the American listeners, I mean, that is 109 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know if that's pretty like Arizona temperature.
Yeah. But like if you're in like a colder climate, right? Like for us, 44 degrees Celsius is like massive.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So we're going to escape to the coast.
We could put the aircon on. I was very distracted with the washing machine last week, so it really can't get much worse.
No.
If we put the aircon on.
Could be some ambient stuff. I know the dishwasher's on at the moment, but I don't think you can really hear it through the door.
Or do you want to put the pot on pause and go and turn everything on in that case?
Yeah, do you want me to put the aircon on?
Let's just see how good the audio software is at eliminating background noise.
Really? You want me to go and turn it on?
I mean, I can persevere.
Yeah,
Up to you.
I'll persevere. I've got cold water.
I've got
it's
hot
fine.
coffee. Half of one.
Just put some ice cubes in it. You'll be right.
So what's happening? We're back again.
Post the big old hundo, you know.
No, because the more we talk it up, the more likely we are to encounter some unforeseen circumstance. The universe will, I don't know, burn that. I shouldn't say that.
I know,
something horrible will happen, which will prevent us from doing it. So
we're very anticlimactic anyway, so it's going to be fine.
So it's been a good 12 months. I think we missed 2 weeks while we were on holidays.
Yes.
And yeah, it's very different to the year prior when we were on hiatus. So it's been a nice little run. I'm very proud of what we've been able to achieve because we haven't achieved much consistency elsewhere in our lives. The workouts aren't really as consistent as we'd like. And there's not a lot of discipline in that regard. Yeah,
it's just like the daily habits and things. And I think we did not a couple, but it's probably like 20 episodes ago talking about Ryan Holiday's like discipline is destiny and things like that. But the last couple of weeks, and we go through a few iterations of it, but the last couple of weeks we're really trying to get back on board with everything and not just like, you know what, let's just start in the new year. Let's just start in January. We're like, let's just start now. There's no point waiting. Let's try and just get everything.
Starting the week before January and getting a leg up on
It's 2 weeks.
the bandwagon people.
Yeah.
It just goes to show our discipline and our prioritization. We obviously love you guys and we prioritize the pod above all else. So if that's anything to go by, then stick around for future content.
No, well, it's the whole, you know, it is becoming soon that everyone starts doing their New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff anyway. But it's just one of those things to be like, we're conscious of it, we're trying, and it's just about trying to do the best. And it's about prioritizing as well, right? Like, so it's, you know, what comes first, content or health or things like that. We're really trying to just put health first because we're getting old. We're like 30, not old, but we're like 35. And it's one of those things where health should be the biggest priority because that's going to be the thing that's going to get you through to the end game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeps your wits about you. It's just like, how long can you do something for? Like, the thing is, the generation before us, our parents, the boomers, there's not a lot of them that are probably doing something they're passionate about week to week. And on top of that, been doing it for decades and decades. So it's we need to, you know, have some gratitude for the opportunities that we have before us and the technology. Even this week, I'm playing around with a spreadsheet and stuff more for the business and making new formulas to get better insights and stuff into the sales data. And even 3 years ago, it wasn't a thing. And the kind of insights and analytics and stuff I can get with the help of this new type of technology, AI, it's quite profound because it wasn't around a couple of years ago. And then you imagine what it was like 20 years ago before Microsoft Excel kind of existed. Everything was on pen and paper, much more room for a greater possibility of human error and things like that. So, yeah, it's just being grateful for everything we have at our disposal, and a lot of the stuff is for free.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, how long can you do things for?
Yeah.
Can you do this when you're 60 or 70?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like you want to be able to do the thing that you love or just live life in general for as long as possible. But the biggest thing that's going to help you get to that point is looking after yourself. Yeah, keeping that balance. Getting there to the end. You don't want to have a heart attack at 55.
No. I mean, 75. You don't, not that you want one, but I mean, if you can delay it 20 years by a little bit of effort every day, it's kind of worth it.
Yeah, and you see like whether it's like TikTok or Instagram or things like that, and you see, these people well into their 60s being super active, running marathons, things like that. Wasn't like the New York Marathon not long ago either, and it's just, I want to be able to have that ability, not do that, but have that ability to do something like that. I don't want to be confined to small spaces or, not have the freedom, I guess, to be able to move around myself and just have the energy for it. So, yeah, I really noticed the dip in energy when I don't work out. So when I do work out, I have that, even though I've burnt more calories and exerted more energy, I still feel lighter anyway after it.
Yeah. So you want to thrive in your elderly years.
Yeah. Well, like if you're working for retirement and you're saving for retirement and everything hard that you're doing now is purely for that retirement and the end of life type thing, don't you want to enjoy it? Don't you want to be able to actually experience it and not be like bedridden or...
Well, it's kind of terrifying because inflation and everything is moving so fast, but can you even afford to survive retirement?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of crazy. If you follow like the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early. It's basically a movement that people follow because they want to retire at 45, 50 and then live on their investments and then cash out super and stuff later on. But essentially save up enough money to then live off dividends via their investments. And when I was kind of vaguely looking at it in, 2019, 2020, the loose number was around $2 million. If you have $2 million saved up by that retirement age, then you can essentially live off dividends. This is a lot of assumptions, if you're invested in more diverse portfolios like ETFs and whatnot, and there's a percentage that on average is going to return each year, and then you can essentially off the $2 million cash out 50 grand a year to live on, and you're just living on the dividends. But will that be possible? But in 40 years time or 30 years time, when we're in 60s or 70s, that 2 million might be now 10 million. And not to mention the $50,000 annual expenses needed to live might now be 150 or 200. So it's like you can't. It's almost like you can't save enough. Obviously, we could save more. That'd be amazing. But I think saving now with like a loose target of what's currently available, financial wise or from an economic point of view, it's obviously pretty poor strategy. You need to be thinking, what's this going to be like looking like in 30 years? Yeah. So it's basically my question is, how are we going to save $10 million?
Yeah. Well, that's like...
not save, or at least invest $10 million.
Yeah. And that's really interesting, right? So just say if you're those people that did retire early, just say like 10 years ago, that was before COVID and before, like wars and all that kind of stuff that would...
there's a couple of wars.
No, but like the major ones that are happening at the moment, like Ukraine and that kind of thing. Like, but like COVID put like a big dip into like the economy. Imagine if you prepared for it, you like the standard trajectory for like, all right, if we save this much or we invest this much, we should be fine. Then like COVID and all these big things hit, and then all of a sudden inflation like skyrocketed, and you're like, fuck, like I didn't plan for this. Like it's a bit...
You in your, I guess, strategy, you do, I guess, factor in a few small hiccups, like a car crashing and riding off $20,000 car. Obviously, if you don't have insurance, but just an example, or whatever, you have to have surgery and you're out of pocket 10 grand or whatever. Like those small, relatively small, considering or depending on how much money you make, inconveniences that usually your emergency fund can cover But then when there's global societal changes or economic changes, those you can't plan for. And it's kind of delusional to think that you're going to get through 50 years at the current way the world's looking with just the rate that things are changing, whether it's social media, apps and revolutionizing how things are moving along. You can't even think about what's coming down the line, and to think that nothing dramatic is going to impact your strategy over the course of like 50 years is kind of insane. So it's like, how much of a contingency do you have to factor in?
Yeah, how much of a buffer do you have?
Should it be double what you're planning? Should it be triple?
Yeah.
It's kind of scary to think about.
No, 100%. Like sorry, I'm just hearing weird noises, but I think it's just outside. Someone's doing their
Someone's got a whippersnipper.
Someone's got a whippersnipper. But yeah, it's like, how much of a buffer do you plan for to have in there just in case of, I don't know, like the water runs out or something. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, you just got to prepare. I mean, I'm really just speaking out of my ass here.
No, I know. Like, I guess some people re-enter the workforce or something like that.
Our parents aren't the best future planners in that regard.
No.
I mean, your dad is to a degree. I'm not going to say exactly what. But it's like, what you can only learn from the lessons of people that are, basically what I'm saying is go on Reddit and watch and see what people are doing and look for advice there, as opposed to
us,
the parents. What I was trying to segue into, and I didn't quite get there, is some new news about Kiss this week. And obviously they're quite old, in their, I think, 70s now.
Right.
You like Kiss?
No, not really. I do like Detroit Rock City, the movie.
Okay.
That was fun. But the Kiss band itself, like, I don't know, like Gene Simmons is weird. Wasn't there a Gene Simmons show or Simmons Family show or something like that?
Back in probably MTV era.
Yeah.
So the Kiss members are all in their 70s now.
Mm-hmm.
By the looks of it. Paul Stanley, 71. So it looks pretty damn good if you ask me.
Well, you can't tell because the makeup's covering the wrinkles.
Yeah, well, that's a good strategy, actually. Gene Simmons, 73. Eric Singer, 64. Tommy Thayer. I don't even know half of these dudes. I think they've probably changed to guitarists a couple of times. I know Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley.
Yeah, the two main.
Isn't it? Where's Ace Frehley? He's AC/DC?
Yeah. Ace is AC/DC.
Even
sure? I know that, yeah.
Even you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a rocker, are you?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm into skate punk. But it's a generation earlier. Basically, they've been performing for 50 years.
That's a long time.
So what would you guess would be their next? What would they do next? Because they've just done their last show.
Oh, so if they've done their last show.
It's always one of these things like John Farnham's final farewell tour, and then it's like 2 years later they come back. But apparently they played their last show, I think, this week or last week.
Yeah, I've got it.
What?
A podcast.
Is that going to let them live on for 20 more years?
No,
50 years, 100 more years? Because think about it. I mean, name 10 more iconic bands than Kiss. In terms of global recognition, identifiable, I would argue they're probably the most identifiable because they're in costume, in their outfits. That Beatles are cool, but it's just their faces, so it's hard to...
Stones.
Huh?
Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
They're still touring.
They're still touring, but I'm saying they've been gone for 50 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're the Kiss franchise, there's Kiss pinball machines, there's Kiss board games, there's all this sort of stuff. They're going to die in the next 30 years.
Yeah.
How is their brand going to live on? How will they become the first band that's basically existed in pop culture for more than 100 years in terms of still new things coming out? Because the Beatles will burn out. They had a new song that came out like a month ago.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones was cool, but once they stopped touring, it's kind of over. It's not like there's new content coming out 50 years from now with those characters. Because Kiss, with the makeup and the outfits, they're kind of characters
100%.
that transcend just the band. That makes sense.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like the thing that Kiss are really known for is their product placement, like their what's the word? Not marketing. It's their merchandise.
It's branding and marketing.
Yeah. So they're known for like their merchandise, and I think they've already had a cartoon. So are they going to branch out into like cartoons, TVs?
Quite close.
Yeah.
So good guess. I'm usually good at these guessing games. Kiss says farewell to live touring and will become the first US band to go virtual and become digital avatars.
Makes sense for them because one is like, again, because they've got the makeup and stuff, and they do have their own cartoon show and all that kind of thing.
You can't age with the makeup.
Exactly.
Because they can just kind of stay young forever.
100%. And they just have that iconic look about them, right? So it's one of those ones where I keep saying one of those ones. Since you pointed that out, it's just all I'm thinking about. One of those things. But they're just so well known for like their merchandise. I think if you Google now like Kiss merchandise, you'll have people and collectors with just walls and walls of like weird like you think cups and T-shirts and all that kind of stuff, but they would have cereal. They would have just so many other kind of
it's like Rolling Stones. You can do it. I'm not saying you can't, but it's a lot harder, especially to sell onto a next generation. With Kiss, you can basically do like
you can characterize them.
Like Muppets Babies.
Yeah,
it's like okay, now we can like basically
Kiss Baby. Yeah.
You can bring in a whole new generation in 20 years. Mm-hmm. When people that are now 50, 60, their grandkids are now, 5 or whatever, then they can get their kids or their grandkids into the music, into the Kiss world. Yeah. Because the makeup allows it to
transcend age and time.
Metamorphosize into different avenues. Mm-hmm. So here's some Kiss shrines.
Yeah, because you have like, pop, just classic, pop vinyls, dolls,
board
figurines.
Games, mugs. I know AC/DC had a wine at one time. Mm-hmm. All these things, right? And the thing is with Kiss, they're not, although they have the makeup, they're not like metal where it's just
it's
kind
pop,
of
it's pop rocky.
It's kind of like cock rock to a degree, but it's not metal. Whereas like Iron Maiden has like the Eddie logo, but it's a little bit too metal for like younger kids to like latch onto.
Yeah.
Whereas with Kiss, it's kind of just rock, so it's not that far of a stretch to get new generations into it every 10, 20 years.
Well, you got the clean vocals and like rough vocals, right? Like the clean vocals are always going to be a little bit more transcendy compared to the rough stuff. Yeah. And music always goes through, reiterations and things like that. Like, a couple of years ago, emo came back. Like it's one of those things. Oh, I said it right. It's one of those things where, it's probably going to make the rounds again anyway, where metal's going to be popular. But yeah, that's really interesting.
But they're not. I wouldn't consider them metal because their guitars aren't super heavy.
We'll just do hard rock.
Yeah, hard rock.
Yeah. But that makes sense for them. Like I could totally see them selling like their digital identity or becoming AI avatars because a couple of episodes ago we talked about artists selling their back catalogue as well. And, other people being able to use their back catalogue for wherever they want.
Yeah. So basically, I'll pull up this second link here.
And that's smart as well, right? Like them being able to sell their Kiss identity because they've still got behind the Kiss makeup, they've still got their original selves. They're not selling their likeliness. So I guess, Rolling Stones, for example, if they were to sell like, Keith Richards or whatever, that's what he looks like every day, all day, every day. Whereas like Kiss, it's just with the makeup and stuff on.
Yeah, it's like just a barrier to the real version, but they don't have character names, which would take it a little bit further. They still got their original names.
No, Kiss do all have character names. They're all got like nicknames. You didn't know that?
Gene Simmons, are you sure?
Yeah.
Isn't it just Gene Simmons?
No, he's
Gene Simmons,
have like... The Kiss all have nicknames.
Do they?
Yeah. The persona, the demon.
Hard rock band Kiss. So we
yeah. So...
Okay, the demon. Okay, fair enough.
And then if you look at all the other dudes, you've got like
it is Ace Frehley.
Oh, is it?
Hey, we need to reverse that because I'm claiming it the spaceman.
Did Ace Frehley die? Is that why?
I don't know.
Oh, he's just not in the band anymore, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, it's like okay. So yeah, they do have their names. That's my negligence.
That I knew.
Imagine how much royalties they're getting.
Oh, that's what I mean. Like their merchandise and stuff is off the charts. So if they were smart business people at the beginning or early stage of their career, they would be getting so many royalties.
All right, so watch this.
Kiss staged their final performance over the weekend at Madison Square Garden. Kind of. Rather than call it quits completely, the band has instead opted to continue cashing tour checks by shedding their physical form in favor of digital avatars. During an encore in New York, Kiss revealed digital avatars of themselves, which went on to perform God Gave Rock and Roll to You. The state-of-the-art avatars were created by Industrial Light and Magic in partnership with Pop House Entertainment Group, which was co-founded by ABBA's Bjorn Ulvaeus.
So ABBA's already done this?
Bassist Gene Simmons also seemed stoked about the whole thing, saying, quote, "We can be forever young and forever iconic by taking us to places we've never dreamed of before. The technology is going to make Paul jump higher than he's ever done before." It appears Kiss has finally achieved their ultimate goal, to rock and roll all night and party every day throughout the universe in
He didn't seem excited about that at all.
Oh, it's kind of like a satire type of YouTube news type of channel.
Also, apologies to all the Kiss fans out there and me not saying Ace Frehley was
we're 35.
Kiss. It's fine.
Hey, I knew deep down I was right. I just wasn't going to push back. ABBA's already done it, but that's why it's saying they're the first US band.
Mm-hmm.
But the video I can't play now because we got pinged for copyright last time. It looks like at the moment anyway in its initial stages, it looks like you ever played Guitar Hero?
Yeah.
And how you're playing guitar and it's just like the band's like floating through space and like weird animations and stuff. It's kind of that, like a video game right now.
Yeah.
But it could ultimately transform into like more metaverse type environments as opposed to on the screen. Basically what they were showing, like the video version, I don't know if you'd pay to watch a concert of that because it's literally just a video. But if there's a way they can do like those holograms like they did with Tupac at Coachella like 10 years ago and have it more interactive perhaps, or like a metaverse type concept, they'll be able to essentially, it'll make more sense to charge for that kind of thing. But right now in its initial form, I think they're just putting it out there like we still will exist. We're just going to move as technology moves on.
Yeah, metagigs.
Metagigs. It's actually a good domain name. We should try and claim that.
Metagigs. Go, Daddy.
If it's here right now, we're buying it live. Metagigs.
Metagigs.
I like that. That's
metagigs.com.
Yes or no will be there. It'll be gone for sure.
Yeah.
Metagigs.com.au.
It's not taken?
No, we don't have the AU version.
No, need the .com.
Okay. Well, I liked the thought.
Yeah.
Sorry, we get sidetracked very easily.
Metagigs.com.
I like it though.
Yeah.
Short, snappy. You know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
Okay. Put it on the back. I'll add it to the other 50 domains that I want to pay for.
Actually, a little segue as well. So last week we talked about the Colin Samir, Emma Chamberlain one, and was it Samir that said that he collects domain names just because like that's just like his thing and what he does?
I know. I got an email literally this morning before I was coming on here and I was looking for some more articles. Like GoDaddy sent me an email that was like, look at your performance, like your performance for the stuff that you own. I'm like, what performance? I just own them. There's no traffic or anything. Because the traffic's through different websites. But I got about 6 domains, mostly for like myself. There's 3 or 4 that I just haven't done anything with. I'm kind of like that. Probably once a month, I will search a domain up to see if it's there. But it can get expensive.
Oh, of course.
It's sometimes like $30 a year. And if you're not doing anything with it, in the hopes that someone might buy it eventually. Imagine if you owned X.com and then Elon 6 months ago wanted to buy it. Yeah. Probably made like $10 million.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Or even just the handles, social media handles. Yeah. So basically this is a way for, I guess, Kiss to live on, because if they're in their 70s, let's say they have a good run and they hit 100, they're probably going to spend most of their time, rather than touring and performing, you'd imagine they'd probably spend a year or 2 in those sort of animatronic costumes and just trying to film as much and record as much as possible while they're still alive. And they, haven't just look at their wits about them. Yeah. So the more content they can squeeze out now and get into digital format, then the longer they can live on. Because if they don't do much of that and one of them passes away or whatever in 10 years, there's less flexibility in terms of the type of stuff they can produce going forward.
Although you could, because it's all AI, right? You could just use body doubles because you've got the face and the likeness and everything. You've got all the same songs.
Just what I was showing you the other day with for example, building our own data set with AI, you need the initial data set first. So they have to capture X amount of hours to get every sort of reaction or transition between reactions. And I'm sure they're mega successful, like what we're talking about. They have tons of merchandising. I'm sure they have a huge amount of employees that are like very business savvy. So all that stuff will be taken care of for sure. But it's interesting. I don't know how many bands could do it simply because they're just normal people generally and not characters. And you kind of need the longevity of sustaining the band and the fan base for decades and decades in order to even have the option of doing this.
Yep, and being international as well at the same time.
And having most of the band members still alive.
Yeah.
Like Beatles, you can't do a whole lot. They can make the new song, and the new song's pretty cool, but you can't digitize them to a degree because Paul McCartney looks like shit. He's like 80 and he looks horrible. Well, rightly so. He's 80.
I was going to say, he looks not bad for, an 80-year-old.
But you can't transform that. Like a 15-year-old in 2040 ain't going to be interested in him looking like that. But I can see like Kiss babies, like Muppet babies. That's what I'm envisioning.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
So
Kiss going to high school,
Basically, my entire point is, should we start wearing makeup for the pod?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't really wear makeup on a regular basis. What would be your sort of style makeup?
Probably just like some clown makeup, I guess.
Fair enough, because you're a clown.
Well,
because you're a joker.
It's more like a joke on itself. Like I'm not a clown. Like I'm actually
just super serious, and you just never acknowledge the makeup whatsoever.
Yeah, that's pretty funny actually.
Just have like maybe a red nose or whatever, and just like never acknowledge it. The anti-clown. Yeah, interesting.
So that was some interesting stuff I've seen this week. Not the biggest fist cans, Kiss fans.
Fist cans. Kiss fans?
There's a Freudian for you.
It's not that we love music and stuff in general, and everyone knows like a handful of
they have bangers.
Kiss songs.
They have bangers,
but I think it's just a really interesting concept. Like obviously ABBA did it first because they're very universal. Kiss makes sense. Probably eventually even like Rolling Stones might make sense as well.
No, you're clinging to the idea. I don't see it happening.
No, they're just one of the ones. They're just because they've only got probably a handful more years left in them, right? So like who are these universally loved bands that people would still pay money to see, whether they're in a digital format or a real format?
Honestly, I don't even know more than 4 Rolling Stone songs.
You'd know more once you start listening to them.
I don't think so.
Really? Yeah, maybe I just know more than you do.
I can't even think of one right now. Like Kiss I know.
Yeah.
Detroit Rock City. Because of the movie.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think. There's no bands of sort of our generation that would be able to do that.
Like from my emo days. Maybe
not even emo days. It's just... I mean, most bands that we listen to, the members are probably 10, 15 years older than us. Because when we're like 10 or 15, they're in like 25, 30. And that's... They're kind of... Because most albums are coming out, whatever, a year or two after it's been recorded. So 1 or 2 years. If someone's 30, they kind of wrote it in 20... Or when they're 28, for example. And they probably went through the experience in terms of what the song's about, like 2 years prior. So like... 15 to 26, a lot of compatibility in terms of the type of things you get up to in life. So I don't know what bands are even that gigantic that it would make sense. My Blink's coming to mind just because their latest tours are just probably the biggest of that entire generation, biggest punk band.
Probably maybe the other one would be Metallica, but that's because it's just making me think of Metalocalypse. Like
Metallica could work.
Yeah. And I was thinking Black Parade, My Chem as well, because they kind of got uniforms and stuff.
There's a specific demo. It doesn't transcend too far across generations.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas Metallica, there's a lot more. There's 50-year-olds and 15-year-olds that are into them.
That love them,
Chemical Romance, there's no 50-year-olds listen to Chem Romance. A couple.
Not as many as Metallica fans.
Usually just some lonely dude that's trying to pick up 35-year-old chicks.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Metalocalypse?
It's annoying. Adult Swim, I was in for it for a small time. Moral Oral was okay.
Harvey Birdman was pretty good.
No, you just need to smoke a lot of weed to watch that kind of stuff sometimes.
Yeah, to be honest. Yeah.
But Metalocalypse, I don't know. I feel like my brain's getting dumber when I watch that stuff.
Well, that's what
and I feel like that a lot of the time. I don't need an extra hour here and there.
But I think it was loosely based on like Metallica and stuff anyway. So yeah. But yeah, Metallica's one. That's probably another one that I would probably see that I'd be able to transform into the digital format.
But yeah, I think the makeup is the key thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anything, any segues whatsoever there?
No segues really. We'll just have to.
Really?
Yeah.
No segues.
Think of. Do you want to talk about?
Well, you pick one. You don't drag it on. Just roll into it because people are getting bored.
Well, the GTA one's pretty interesting.
All right, so the new GTA game coming out, pretty crazy. GTA 6 has been, I think, 10 years since GTA 5.
Yeah.
I remember playing GTA 1 and 2 with my neighbor.
Mm-hmm. Even, like, I'm not the biggest gamer, but I used to play with my brothers, like, on the PlayStation. I think PS2 and then PS3,
it would
obviously.
Have been like San Andreas.
Yes.
That I didn't have a PS2, so I missed the whole like 5-year generation there.
Yeah. And
that was where it sort of really took off, San Andreas and Vice City.
Yeah, and then you'd print off the cheat codes and then you'd on an A4 piece of paper and then you fold it up, put it in the case cover, and then every time you go play the game, you'd enter in the
or you go to
cheat codes.
gamefax.com.
Yeah, to get all
FAQs.
the... Yeah. And then it would be like such a long code. You'd do like the square, circle, triangle, and then you'd get it wrong and you have to re-put it in again.
So GTA 5, which was the latest one...
It was massive.
Came out on PS4, I think.
Yeah. How much did GTA 5 make? Because...
let me set it up. You
rolling straight into
skipping the oral and just going straight for like the final penetration.
All right, let's rewind that back a bit.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Just slow down.
All right. The floor's yours, Drew.
You're just on about a journey, are you? You just punchline, move on.
Getting there.
GTA 5 was obviously the latest one, and it's had like a 10-year run. And what set that apart, obviously, it's an addition to the franchise, but it was the one that broke such widespread ground because it was online.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, Grand Theft Auto, you go around guns and weapons and money and drugs and crime, heaps of fun stuff, right? But doing that online with your friends was even better because you could essentially have your own crib, put your own things in your crib, invite your friends around, multiplayer mode online.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still so popular now. I think it was the second most streamed game on Twitch, even 10 years on. I imagine Fortnite's probably first. But there's actually people that go to such great lengths of making videos and movies using the in-game footage. That's how, what would the word be?
Loved.
I mean, like how vast and the amount of opportunities and different things you can do within the game. It's not like there's some games where you're just on a rail and all you can do is turn and shoot. This one is, you can explore the entire world, but then you can actually make videos within that because you can customize character features and hair and whatnot. So that's why it's so crazy. It's unlimited options. So now this next one's coming out. You can only imagine how crazy it's going to be because obviously live streaming is so popular now. Twitch probably was barely off the ground, if not, might not even have existed when the first one came around. So live streaming, multiplayer, internet's way faster. It's going to be crazy to see where this GTA goes to. We can probably play a trailer, I guess.
I was going to say, I actually waited because I knew it was coming out and I haven't watched the trailer yet.
Okay, so it's the first one that has a female protagonist.
Oh, lovely.
So
that's cool.
Seems a little bit woke, but I mean, if she's badass, no one's really going to care.
Considering like all the other ones were like the females were all prostitutes, so it's fine.
What's wrong with female prostitutes?
Nothing. Oh, sex workers, sorry, my bad. It was just, but that was their main character was being the side thing, so that's interesting. They got a female lead.
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
So it's based in Miami.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot to the video. It's just
showing you what the world looks like.
It's basically how the world is a little bit more different now. So it's got a lot of like live streaming elements. Same deal though. A lot of crime and stuff like that.
Well, it was like because the trailer got leaked. It wasn't even meant to come out.
It got leaked,
this week.
I think, a day early.
Yeah, and they're like, you know what, guys? Here it is. Here's the trailer.
So I think it comes out in 2025. But what's interesting is I found this data about GTA budget and revenue over time. So the booming scale of Grand Theft Auto, I wonder if I can shrink this down a bit so you can see it a bit easier. So, for example, right, GTA 4 came out in 2008. 25 million copies sold.
Yeah.
It cost $100 million to produce, and it made $2 billion in revenue.
Oof.
So huge turnaround. You can see the green and the yellow here. If you're just listening on YouTube, we're just showing some imagery on the TV here, so you can visualize what we're talking about. So GTA 4, $100 million to make, $2 billion revenue. So gigantic return.
Yeah.
GTA 5, which came out in 2013, 185 million copies sold. So basically 9x the amount of people that were playing it. It cost a little over 2.5 times more to make. So it went from 100 million to essentially $250 million.
No, $250,000 to make. So 265 million.
That's $250 million.
Right. Yeah. True.
Hey, I'm the numbers guy. You have a pretty face. And it made 7.7 billion.
Oof.
So almost 4x the
crazy
amount of
profit,
revenue.
Man. Yeah.
So now they're showing data for GTA 6 that's coming out. So they've gone from the cost to produce at GTA 5, the previous version, at $265 million. And there's rumors that the latest one cost $2 billion to make.
Like that's...
It's $2 billion for a game?
Yeah. It's almost
the game
like...
must be... Let's imagine that 10% is going towards the actual online, the servers, maintaining all that stuff. How big is the game going to be? $2 billion? If it's even half of that, that's fucking crazy.
Well, like the thing I think of is so GTA 5 was such a hit, right? As soon as it went online, like you said, it just boomed and was massive, and it's still being played
Still being
so
bought
much
today.
now.
People are still buying it today.
I know. Literally people are still buying it. So for them, it almost seems like if you made 7 billion profit, you're like, all right, let's actually make this game really, really good.
Revenue.
Yeah.
But I mean, essentially profit, yeah.
Yeah. So let's make this game really, really good. And it's, how long's it been since the previous one? And how long has it been like rumored to like
12? It was a 5-year gap and then a 12-year gap.
Yeah. So it's probably been in development for so long, right? Because they want it to be absolutely amazing.
You have to outdo it. You can't.
No, exactly. It has to be, the world has to be 10 times bigger or whatever it is. The characters have to be, so much more on point. If that's what the trailer looks like, and I know this happens all the time where the game trailer doesn't really match what the graphics actually look like on the game itself, but with the new PlayStation 5, the Xbox, all that kind of stuff, with these consoles being able to handle highly developed games.
4K streaming. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So if that's what the trailer looks like and if that's what it actually looks like in real gameplay, yeah, that you can tell why they would want to spend $2 billion on it.
So yeah, it went, the cost to produce doubled and now it's gone 10x. So if the revenue went 4x,
yeah,
and between X production,
yeah,
it would have to be the projected more than a 10x
100%.
revenue. So that means if it previous one did say 8 billion. This one's going to do like $100 billion.
That's what they're estimating. Well, you also have 12 years to like get there as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, is it going to...
How soon is it going to reach that?
Yeah, if it took 5 years and then 12 years, it might take 20 years.
Yeah, to get to that point.
Maybe it costs so much money because they're trying to future-proof it because they know it's going to be 10 more years. There might be another console dropping in 5 years.
Yep.
When 8K's the new thing.
But if people are still buying GTA 5, it would have to be finding that balance. Be like, we want people to play both. We want people to still enjoy both games. So that,
they've
have
cashed
to make it
out. Like, technically,
capped out.
It'd be so easy to. It's like when the PlayStation games inevitably the real popular ones just go to like that platinum level. It just becomes so much cheaper to produce.
Yeah, true.
So it's probably just on autopilot almost.
Yeah. And if you think about it as well, so they probably had more developers on it. Wages have gone up, as I'm just trying to think of like metrics as well, like why it would be more expensive. So wages have gone up like in that 12-year time period. A big thing that GTA is known for is those epic radio stations and having songs, so maybe song royalties, like having really
all that
dope,
stuff. I think would be minimal increases.
Oh, actually, you'd probably want your song to be in GTA, right?
You'd probably give it away.
Yeah,
if your song was on GTA and you gave it away for free, the amount of new listeners and money you're going to make off royalties in the back end is if you wouldn't give it away for free.
Yeah, that's so true.
I'm just wondering what other games, like, have they just focused on this for a decade? I know they do Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, oh, that's another one that's coming out.
But if they're not focused on making 6 different games with 6 franchises, they could have put so much effort into it.
You know what? Like, that makes a lot of sense, right? Because they just want to make really, really decent games. So
they did Red Dead,
LA Noire,
Bully, which is anniversary. So Bully is just like a redo, Grand Theft Auto Online, Red Dead 2. So they've done basically no significant new games until this one. So they've probably, had all hands on deck.
Well, that means they've got all their team really focusing on making these games the best possible games possible. That was bad
the best
English.
Possible games possible. Yeah. 2,000 employees. So if between GTA 4 and 5, the copies sold was like 9x, let's imagine it's going 10x, like 10x again. So it's going from 200 million to 2 billion. I don't know how that's even possible.
Should we invest in Rockstar Games? Is that something we can do?
Too late now. There has to be a cap on how many people are going to play Grand Theft Auto, because if the numbers, if we're looking at just a linear progression, the 10x would be 2 billion people are playing, but there's only 8 billion people on the planet. That's like 1 in every 4 people are playing it. Obviously, we have old people, young people, people in third world countries aren't going to be playing it. So I don't know how much more that would increase.
No, there's more than 8 billion. What's the population at the moment?
It's 8 billion.
Population?
8.1.
How many PlayStations were sold in... No, I'm just curious,
how many
right?
what?
How many PlayStations were sold in...
Which PlayStation?
PlayStation 5 sold in 2023. Or maybe 2022.
What data are you trying to get here? 19 million. And then this year is 6 million. So that's 25.
So 25 million, and then probably maybe 20 million in Xbox and stuff.
I don't see that copies sold going up that much. There'll be at least 185 million because everyone will just want the new version. But how many newer people will be playing it?
Yeah, but sorry for math. I know. So just say it was 28 million, right?
What?
Consoles sold times
That's
$80.
the people that can't afford the old one or the new one and are still playing the old one, though.
Yeah, but just times $80.
For the 1,600,000,000.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
So I'm just I'm trying to calculate in the head
I mean, that's not, is the online stuff that's counting probably towards revenue as well.
Yeah,
game currency.
because you got PC, heaps of people play it online. So they'll probably, the 2 billion it costs to make, just with standard units sold, they'll probably make back the cost it is to produce pretty soon. I'd say they'll make that 2 billion back.
Yeah, you're saying the amount of time to recoup cost wouldn't be that long, and the rest are just writing out the profit.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So the method's my madness.
Yeah, it is madness though.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and I think it's gonna be a year away, or a year and a half, 2025. There's no other gaming franchises that even compete at that level.
No.
Like Mario. Who the fuck's playing Mario?
Yeah, probably Mario games or Mario Kart's probably it'd have to be the next one that would sort of be able to compete. But you've got Minecraft so Fortnite, Minecraft, Mario.
They'll burn out.
Burnout?
I mean, GTA 1, I was playing in the early 2000s, top-down view. All you do is steal cars.
People have been playing Mario since the 80s.
Yes, but it's very childlike. When you're 36, you want to go kill some people, do some robberies. You don't want to collect coins.
You want to be a bad boy?
You want to be a little bit of a bad boy.
You want to be a little bit of a bad boy?
And now Netflix is actually releasing a couple of the first games, I think, Vice City and a couple more, because you can play games on Netflix on your phone.
That's right. Yeah.
So
interesting.
That'd be cool. I imagine it's part of your plan.
It would have to be. It would have to be part of the tier. We don't have a console anymore because...
No, you play on your phone.
No, but I'm just saying people that can't afford a console but can afford, $12
So I think it's just
going
to be... Yeah, it's going to be... crazy 12 months after that comes out.
Yeah, GTA in every household.
And what I love, I ain't playing it. I would love to, but I know like right now the hustle, the business, branding, content, all that stuff so much more important to me. This is going to distract a lot of people from hustling.
It is. Oh, so we can like kind of like slip in there and be like,
I like to slip in there a lot of the time.
Yeah, but also, sorry, it's not going to include all the like the extra in-play money that people are going to spend as well.
People are going to
They're going to drop in
their
cash.
time and money.
Yeah, because what's the currency?
Hot tip. When I'm whispering, don't have to talk.
Sorry.
Hot tip. When everyone's playing the game, go harder. People are going to be distracted. People are going to be more Uber Eats. I'm too busy. I need to finish this side mission.
Yeah.
All more money for me.
More money for you. Yeah.
So that's my greedy thinking. I mean, there's going to be people will probably have a bunch of fun playing it. But, you know, I like hustling more.
Yeah. You like being busy more.
When I'm 50, I'll come back and play it.
But it's just funny, like as long as I've known you for the past couple of years, like you go through iterations. We had like a Switch and you played that like heats for about a month. I'll
buy a console. 6 weeks later, I'm selling the console
because you're just over it.
Too distracting.
Yeah. And you did a bit of PC gaming for a little bit, and then you just like
a little bit of
StarCraft. No,
it wasn't StarCraft.
Starts with an F. What's it called?
What was I playing? What is the game?
It was like a.
Those MM.
It's going to bother you now.
No, yeah, I've got to wrap this up so people know that I'm.
Just search top.
Is it MMORPG?
Lost Ark, Final Fantasy.
No, it wasn't.
Guild Wars. EverQuest? No.
No.
Fantasy Quest?
It wasn't an MM. What was it? That's. Oh.
It's something Quest, right?
No. Most popular Twitch games. I never played League of Legends.
That's right.
What's the category? I can't remember. It's like a battle arena, but there's a particular word for like a
medieval.
No, like how they have like MMO, massive multiplayer online RPG. There's a particular
like term for
game type. Oh, MOBA, online battle arena.
Gotcha.
Sorry,
okay.
I blanked.
MOBA.
Coffee wasn't that strong today. We need to do better.
No. Well, I had a ginger shot and that was like
ginger shot. It's like all right, we'll be whooping right into next episode next week, guys. Stay tuned. We'll bring you some more spicy content. Also, keep hustling because everyone's going to be distracted. You got 12 months.
Get on it.
Keep at it.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys. See you next week. Bye.